Ashe.
Peace.
369, we're going to get you right, and we back with another video. Finally, another podcast video.
We're back and we're here. This topic is something that we both feel is heavy on our hearts, and I feel like so many people can relate, and I feel like it would not only be healing for us to talk about it. So basically, the topic of discussion today is being multifaceted, how it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, because the thing is like who we are, we come from an unlimited source, you know what I mean? So especially being an artist, we can project that art into many different canvases when it comes to either music or painting or anything, you know what I mean? But at the same time, the reason that we are an artist is because we want to be free. You know, most people that want to do art is you don't want to be contained, you want to be free. You know, what that means is that a lot of the times there's a stigma on how an artist is supposed to be, or how an artist is supposed to take care of themselves, how an artist is only supposed to stick to one thing. But once you put that, then it becomes, I'm not gonna say not art, but controlled art, instead of art that's coming from being free from your true self, you know what I mean? So at the same time, it's like we have to break all these boundaries. As an artist, I always try to break a boundary from the last thing I did before. It's a consistent growth, you know?
Yes, and just to give you guys some background information, we are both, even as individuals, very multifaceted people, even in some ways that we don't want to be, which I'm gonna get into. And I think that most humans are multifaceted, but I think that there are truly some people here that are meant to be 1,000 things, and it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. For example, Cam, he's an artist, a business owner, a father, what else? 1,000 things. I feel like the list can go on. Same for me. And we're not just business owners. Like, we have a lot of business ideas. This is just one of many, and we're just getting started. You're also a skater. We like to make jewelry. We literally love to do everything. Not only that, we're pretty good at doing a lot of these things. And I feel like multi-talented people, it could drive us crazy. We always are feeling like our energy, and not even just multi-talented, just people who live so many lives, even just in motherhood and here and there. It doesn't even have to just be a talent. So many people know us as so many things, and sometimes you can feel spread thin, or you can feel like you're going nowhere. Like, imagine you're working out every muscle group in your body 3 times a week versus like isolating certain muscle groups 5 days a week. We feel like we're doing all this work, but we're doing it everywhere, and the energy is like lessened, like it's watered down instead of focusing on one thing. But if you let one thing go, then it's like another thing. The other things you've been working on, whether it's our music career, like suffers. You know what I'm saying? So it's such a beautiful thing because you're building such an empire, but it's very slow. It's very draining, and you feel kind of trapped sometimes because you gotta show up in all these areas. We've tried to do it, but it feels like we mourn. Like, personally me, I can't just give up my music to focus on the business, and when I do, the business thrives. But then I get sad when it comes to the music, so it's like,
Yeah, it's about finding that balance, and it's also about, I feel like, also understanding, just like, you know, nature has a lot of the reflections on how life mimics, you know, and nature expresses itself in cycles of seasons. You know, as an artist, I always embrace the certain seasons that we are in, because different seasons you get to learn different things. Like, there might be a time period where I don't make music for like 6 months straight, but in that time period I was able to experience something that when I get back into music, now I have a lot of stuff that I can say. And it's about embracing the season. You know, sometimes you got to put more energy into this one thing so then this fruit can bear. You know, sometimes you got to put more energy into this one thing so then you can create further soil.
It'll trickle out into other areas of your life, but comes with hardship. It just sucks sometimes, you know?
Yep. And the thing is, it's like, okay, let's say we focus on the business, like we said, for 6-7 months, right? And the thing is, we didn't do music for a minute, but guess what? All that energy that we were feeling, that griefing of wanting to do music, now when we go do it, we're gonna go really hard because there was a time period where we felt without it. And it's like, that pushes you even more, that now when you're going to do it, you're gonna go harder because you've experienced without it. It's like sometimes you don't realize what you want to do or what you have until you lose something. And I could even say that with music, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to take a break and you have to put your energy into other things so then you can come back to it refreshed, anew, ready for a new start. And it's about embracing that season. So I feel like as an artist, understand your season, yourself, weigh out your pros and cons. Like, we had to put our head down for like 6-7 months and really just lock in. It was worth it, you know what I mean? And realize it's temporary, you know?
Yeah, and the only thing is, like, the devil and the angel on each other's shoulders. I agree with everything he's saying, guys. I'm just like giving the other side of the sword. The only thing is, a lot of the sacrifices and seasons we're in are not like by choice. Like, I wish if I was taking a hiatus from music, it's because I wanted to. I don't want to. I'm putting it to the side because I'm trying to be a good mother. I'm putting it to the side because we gotta bring an income, and we're also just helping people change their lives. I do think music can do that too, but like he said, there's different seasons. I guess what I'm trying to say is some of it's just involuntary. And another point we really wanted to talk about on here, we oftentimes feel like we're living a double life between our business and our artistry, because our art is very like, you know us as a person, and then you look at our business, you're like, oh, these people sell tea. Our art is very raw. It's very intense. It can be rage mixed with sadness, mixed with happiness. These things that you wouldn't associate somebody who owns like an herbalism, like Zen, if you call it, business. But that's the whole reason we're doing our best right now to rebrand our audience and merge the two together. And we feel like it works for us because there are so many people in the industry. You can talk about the people in the industry who like.
It's really about shifting the perspectives, because so many people connect being an artist, especially artists in this field, when you're dealing with more of like a different aggressive, this different side of life that you're expressing. A lot of people connected to destroying yourself, killing yourself, lack of self-love. And the thing is like, I get it. You know, a lot of the times our music is a way to transmute this lack of self-love, but we can still express those feelings and still want to grow progressively because we care for ourselves. Because we got to realize at the end of the day, these substances that we indulge in to numb ourselves, to feel good, is only temporary. We're not going to the root. So the thing is, it's a downward spiral when you keep on chasing this high. Keep that same energy, that rawness, but face yourself instead of running away through a substance. And that's something we have to connect so we can start to empower ourselves. A lot of people, when it comes to artists, easily influenced into going into like, oh, this is the style, I'm hurting my heart, I don't care about myself, yada yada. But realize the biggest rebellion that you can do and the biggest self-love that you can do for yourself is to actually be conscious of yourself, what you are doing with yourself, how can you improve with yourself. Because realize you can still have that same energy, but even be more powerful, because now you're not looking for other stuff for love. Now it's inside. Now you realize you have self-love, and that power with this energy of this rawness can really transmute change.
Just to bounce off of what he's saying and to sum it all up, a lot of people in the industry promote things because that's what's considered like cool, rebellious, or I mean, even for real, therapeutic to them. And we do that too. Let's not lie. We talk about some stuff in our music for real, but we also bring that homeostasis with our brand and our presence on the internet, like right now. I know everybody has different lives, but I think that it's refreshing to see artists like, look at MIA. I talked about her before. She created a clothing brand that literally helps with EMFs and stuff like that. Like, I think it's so cool to like, that's real rebellion. Like, I think it's so cool because it's taboo. It's starting to become more normalized, but really to sum it up and tie it into the multifaceted part of the conversation, we are merging this like identity of tea and zenness and herbalism with who we are, because it doesn't mean it's always like cookie cutter aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? We're artists that want to bring a business to the world. It's a part of our brand, and we're merging the two. And also that's why we like to work with other artists. We send a lot of other artists packages and stuff like that are in the field, because it's really a lifestyle. We could go on forever about this topic.
And it's about recognizing too that at the end of the day, what we all been feeling, but we all express it differently, is that we all feel a certain pain when it comes to the pain in the life we are living, something that we are grieving. You know, any type of pain that's different expressed, we all experience this type of pain. It's about, instead of running from the pain, facing the pain. You know what I mean? And you kind of do that in your music. You know, I feel like it's about having a balance, you know?
But fans don't know that when they see you on the back end. Like, imagine NBA Youngboy or somebody, like, imagine they talked about that, but obviously their fans are gonna look into them and know who they are. On the backhand, they're like, they see him drinking tea out of a cup instead of like lean or taking perks. Like, they would still get, oh, that's just his art. Like, it's more than just the art, it's his brand as a person, like what he's putting out as a person.
It's like, okay, we expressing it, that this pain that we go through, this bullshit life that we go, what we had to go through in the past, all the bullshit, but what are we doing to change? You know what I mean? It's okay to express it because you can relate to people, that you're not alone in whatever experience, but also, let's also push from growing from this experience, because we realize we got pain from this experience and we don't want to be in pain no more. So how can we do this? Let's relate that to feeling, and then let's grow from it. So that's why in my music, I always keep it raw. I always talk about what a nigga been through. I never censor.
Don't hold back.
But at the same time, and then when you come to the page and when you come to us and see us personally, you realize there's a balance of growth. That's like, yeah, we've been through pain. Yeah, we've been through shit. But now we're trying to grow from it. So at the same time, it's about having that balance. And then realize once you find that balance within self, find that homeostasis, you know? And I think that's one thing we always want to promote. Just because it's Zen, it's not all just one side. It's not just all ooh wow. Like, we're not running away from that. I think embracing both sides, embracing the pain, but also embracing is how you show the dynamics between the two, and then you can fully understand. Because if you're too much over here, you know, in La La Land, you won't be able to grow from the pain. And if you're in too much in pain, you could go through a whole cycle and end up killing yourself. So it's like understanding, you know, the dynamics of yourself.
I was just gonna say, to sum it up, make whatever art you want to make. We're not the art police. Art is beyond.
Can't be police. Yep.
Exactly, it's beyond that. Oh, I guess what we're trying to say is normalize doing both. We don't care what y'all do. I would just wish it was less of a taboo to mix the two, be an artist and still care about your health, and
really?
That's the message. Normalize, you know, we're multifaceted beings and it's a double-edged sword, but we're on the journey of combining our two identities into one. It shouldn't have to be so weird for it to be two. Actually, like, talk about some cool shit or some, I mean, shit that's good for you.
Exactly, because realize too, you want to make this art so you could get your family in a better place, so you could get the ones you love in a better place through your art. So we all want to do better. We all want to put the people I love in a better position. But instead of talking about it, let's actually do the action. And that's by understanding. I can talk about the shit that I do, but I have to take accountability that the shit that I do is unhealthy. Now let me keep growing. Now let me grow from it, instead of keep on participating in the same aspect that's holding our people back. It's definitely a different type of perspective that we're trying to push, but I feel like it's a perspective that a lot of artists has been looking for. As artists, it's easy for us to get sucked into substances.
Listen guys, I'm not suggesting anything, but to me, there's nothing wrong with experimentation. Yeah. And even if your music is truly just your therapy, again, I'm not here to police it if you talk about that, because that's what you're going through in the song, fine. But do what y'all want to do. I'm just saying, normalize people like us who do something a little different, because people think it's so uncool when it's actually so rebellious to me. Trust me, we're pretty cool about that kind of stuff. And it's so funny because a lot of our artist friends, I feel like we get the vibe that they think we're uptight just because, like, if we go out to eat with them, we won't want to eat like certain seed oils or like certain dairy products and stuff. But we're really not uptight. Our music and our brand and being as a people is really flowing and free flowing and accepting, because our lifestyle's different than the regular everyday artist. I feel like sometimes we feel uncool, you know what I mean? So it's cool to be, you can be multifaceted, and this is just an example of how. So yeah, and a little bit on our story. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this video.
First time being back in a while, but we're gonna definitely do this more consistently. You know, we have a lot that we would like to get out and like to share, and we like to build a connection, build a relationship, and the way we build a relationship is more time being spent. So we definitely will be more consistent. We love talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah, we'll eventually have guests on here and do different like activities, question and answers, maybe even sometimes day in the life. But that's just for our YouTube. This is the podcast. So thank you again for tapping in. Hit that subscribe button. Have a good one. Peace.